Anybody that is trying to manipulate or force you or thrust themselves into your lives, it usually has an ulterior motive attached to it. Hey you guys, welcome back to this channel. I am Darian and I have another video for you guys today. I'm going to be talking about knowing when to give access to people into your life. You do not owe anyone access to your life, to be friends with you, to be acquaintances, a show, whatever it is. You don't owe them access to your life just because you have encountered them, okay? Now, there are some instances where you just are going to come across people and you will have no choice but to continue to see them, whether it's through coworkers or maybe extensions of friends through other people or even family. But just because you're in a space where you know you're going to constantly see people or they're expected to be a part of your life does not mean that they deserve access to your life. Okay, I know some people may be freaking out like, oh, this is my family, I know these people, and I'm not just talking about family, or you know, I can be friends with whoever I want to. You can, okay? But if you are somebody who is embarking on an elevation journey, if you're somebody who is continuing to take your life to the next level, or to be honest, I feel like this really applies to everybody, but I get it if you're not in a place to understand, okay, what I'm saying. I get it. So this just may not be the video for you. But we're going to talk because I have actually encountered a lot of different situations in my life relationally, and just have gone through a lot relationally, gone through a lot of betrayals. I used to be the person that was so just, and I still am a kind person, but I used to just be so nice and people please and just felt like, okay, I saw people, I thought people were all good. That's the view that I used to approach life since from a little girl. And as I got older and as I continued to go through different things and experience different things, it taught me that you cannot approach life from a naive standpoint, because if you do, it will affect you, okay? No matter how nice you want to be to people, or no matter how nice you believe you are, you have to understand that everybody is not like you. Everybody does not think like you, and everybody does not have the same heart as you. So they're not going to treat you always how you think they should treat you, okay? Once you start to go to different levels in your life, and it may not be this huge grand level that you have just walked into. It could just be maybe you got a new house, maybe you got a new car, maybe you got a new job, and I'm not even talking about all these things at once. It could just be one of those things. Maybe it's time for you to go to college, maybe it's time for you to get married. Whatever the case may be, that could be considered a form of elevation. Even so many more things can be considered elevation. But once you start to embark at a place of elevation, it is important to note that that does trigger people. That does, not only does it trigger people, it will inspire some people, and it will signal to some people that you are a person that they want to be connected to, attached to, because we love things that look good. We love things, and I'm not just talking about looking good as like they put on makeup or something like that, or just naturally. I'm talking about it feels good. Like it looks good spiritually. It feels good. We are attracted to things that feel good, that are evolving, that are going somewhere, okay? Everybody loves, maybe not literally everybody, but you get what I'm saying. Everybody loves celebrities. Everybody wants to know what's happening in a celebrity's life because they are at a high place. They are well known. They are expected to have this great amount of wealth. So everybody is constantly wanting to know the lives of celebrities and people of high caliber for a reason. So once you realize your self-worth and self-value, you will start to see that it is important for you to gatekeep who is coming in and out of your life, and you don't owe anybody access to your life. Now, I do understand that there is this mindset of just cutting everybody off from an unhealthy place. But I also, as I have lived life, understand that you should be willing to cut people out of your life from a healthy place when things are toxic, when the people are not willing to evolve themselves, and you have done the work to evolve, and they want to bring destruction to your life. I look back at my life, and a lot of the times that I went through really hard seasons, where I went through really drastic, unfair seasons, it was because I allowed the wrong people around me. It was because when I started to see the red flags and God was warning me, I didn't know it was warnings at that moment, but he was warning me of their character, of their heart, of their nature. And I just looked past it because I wanted to be nice. I looked past it because, I've known this person, or, me and this person have this in common. And, I met this person here, and, I know this person, and it's so many people that know us all together. And I don't want to look like the one that's being a bully or whatever. When I look past those situations, I found myself going through emotional turmoil, having to heal, felt like life just felt a little shooken up, okay? Shooken up. And I noticed that a lot of the harder seasons emotionally, where I had to pull myself together, stemmed from me allowing the wrong people into my life. Me not guarding my space how I should have guarded my space. Me thinking that I can just have anybody around me. I used to feel like, oh, it doesn't matter what circumstance a person has in their life. We can still be friends. We can still, I try to not be judgmental or anything like that. Trying to have a good nature, trying to approach life from a positive and good place. And that taught me a lot of lessons, okay? If you know somebody is not on the same level as you, and not from a place that you're better than them, but you have just started to do the work in your life. You have started to improve in life. You are going to the next place. This person don't care about none of that. This person, they're on that same type of time, okay? This person is going a whole different direction. That is probably something you need to reevaluate and see if this is for you, okay? Because if you do not, and y'all are not walking the same path, and agreement is not there will probably be destruction that eventually comes. And they may not even try to be trying to bring destruction into your life or cause havoc, but just naturally, when a person is going one way and the other person is going the other way, it doesn't go together. It doesn't go together. It's not connecting. I want to talk about this too, how I remember when I was not in my elevated self. I wasn't at an elevated level in my life, and it seemed like, yeah, I could still meet people and make friends. Usually I was able to make friends of people that were in that same space as me, like spiritually and mentally, and just, yeah, kind of like in that same space. And I even can recall back times where it was like I wanted to be connected to people or friends with people, not necessarily because I was trying to take something from them, but I didn't think like how I used to think about connecting to people. Oh, we go to the same school, we go to this, we go to that, so I can be connected to a person. But I realized everybody else didn't think like that, okay? There are some people who did not want to be connected to me, who maybe they felt like they were at a different space in their life. And that is okay. Now being in this space, I understand it. I get it. But you know what they were doing? They were protecting their space. They were protecting their life. They were gatekeeping who was coming in and out. You have to protect your energy in life. If you want to be successful, if you want to get to a certain space in your life, if you don't want people coming in and out wreaking havoc in your life and having you up and down and all over the place and plotting and scheming against you, you have to gatekeep your life. You have to gatekeep the company that is coming in and out of your life. And I'm not talking about gatekeeping like superficial stuff like lip gloss and what brand and soap you use. No, I'm talking about you need to gatekeep who is coming in and out of your life. Also, this is coming to mind. Every time it was time for somebody to leave my life, there was always a shift. There was always a notable shift. There was always a notable thing that happened. There was always something that was like, okay, things feel a little different now, okay? We used to get along like this, but now things have shifted to another place. And usually it was me elevating to another place. Or maybe there have been times where, again, it's normal to have this mindset that if I see somebody and I like them, then I can be their friend. I want to be their friend. I feel like that's normal in society. But I've even had situations where people have tried to befriend me because they see what they see on the outside. And when they actually are in my life, they're not able to handle being my friend. They're not able to handle the real me. My life starts to trigger them, and then pride, jealousy, envy, all these things start to set in. I was just thinking we can all just be friends. We can all just, yeah, we'll just figure it out. But if you have certain things, if you have been blessed to be in certain spaces and places and have certain things, you have to really guard your life. You have to really understand that that is not an open invitation for any and everybody to come in. And I'm going to leave an example. Do you see millionaires and billionaires? And I'm not even trying to talk myself up like this big old, like all of that. I'm just speaking from my personal experiences, okay? So I'm not saying that I'm this and that. And I'm just speaking based off of a lot of the encounters I've had. You have to really be able to recognize who you are, where you are in a season. And again, this does not mean that the people around you are not good or nobody. It just means they have not stepped into their next place of elevation. And so where you are, you may be at a different space than them, and they're not able to handle that. They're not able to, understand that. So I want to point this out. Do you see millionaires and billionaires, people that have a certain mindset to live a certain life, live a certain lifestyle? Do you think that they are just hanging around any and everybody? Do you think that the people that are trying to progress forward are hanging around the people that are not trying to progress forward? The people that don't give a crap about their life, okay? Do you think those people are choosing to be around those people? Again, it does not mean that those people don't matter. It doesn't mean that they don't have anything to offer, but they just have not tapped into that space in their life. And so if you notice, I feel like if I just wanted to randomly just walk up to a certain billionaire and be like, hey, you want to be friends? They're going to look at me like, who are you? They understand they can't just allow some random person, no matter how good they look, no matter how good they may talk, no matter whatever, to just come in and just enter their life. They have so much more to lose. This is why you will hear when you get to a certain level of status in places, people make people sign NDAs, okay? You don't just get to walk up in here and see everything that's going on. And I don't mean it from, not everybody's doing bad stuff, okay? But it could just be as simple as they don't want you going and telling their conversation that everybody was having at the table to the general public. So I'm not telling you to walk around acting like you're a billionaire, okay? I'm not saying that have this puffed up, prideful attitude. But what I'm saying is you have to know who is meant to be in your life, who is not. You have to know who is walking the same path as you and who is not. You have to know who has that same mindset. And when I say same mindset, I don't mean they have to think exactly like you, but we're on the same page about our lives. We're on the same page about where we want to go. I don't owe you my energy just because you exist and you're another human being. What I do owe you is respect, love, and kindness, but I don't owe you an invitation into my life and knowing all my business and knowing everything that's going on. No. I don't owe that to anybody. I get to choose who I give that to. I get to choose who I want around me. I get to choose who I want to spend my time with. And you can't manipulate me or force me into believing elsewise. Anybody that is trying to manipulate or force you or thrust themselves into your lives, it usually has an ulterior motive attached to it. It usually has something that you need to look a little deeper and figure out, why does this person want to be attached to me so badly? What is the motive? Even if it's not some grand scheme motive that's just completely wicked, it could be something as small as they just want to be noticed like how you're being noticed. They just want to, get an opportunity from this specific company or whatever, how you got noticed. So let me just attach to this person and see if that opens a door for me, okay? So that's all I want to say, you guys. I just wanted to do this video to be honest about life, okay? These are the things that nobody really sat me down and talked to me about, but I just learned from living life. I just learned from dealing with people. I learned from being around people, and that's how I got street smart, okay? Was dealing with real life people and in real life situations. You owe it to yourself to protect yourself. You don't trust any and everybody, especially if you're trying to build something in your life. You have to gatekeep, okay? So I thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope that you have a great day. Bye.